Hey everybody, welcome back to this week's episode. Today we're going to be covering Chapter 4 which of This Is the Way by Mark Oxer, and the chapter is called Power Under Control. What are your initial thoughts on the chapter?
Yeah, because this is supposed to be... whoops.
Neat.
Sorry about that. Because, yeah, like that's... I've heard of this term before, power under control.
Yep.
I'll just put this over here. It was used to describe Moses, because he was considered the meekest man on the earth, the most humble man on the earth. And it was explained to me that the term that was being used meant power under control.
Okay.
That Moses was like the most powerful man, but he had his power under control, and he used his power for others and not just for himself, right?
Yeah.
Because he had such a close relationship with God. God spoke to him face to face and considered him his most faithful servant in all his house, right? So he could have just been, his relationship with God would have allowed him to do so much more. And he always just put it towards Israel and towards doing God's work.
Yep.
So I think the term power under control really sets the stage for like, what does it actually mean to be humble?
Yeah, I kind of like the parallel that Mark used in the book when he was talking about like the power lifters. He's talking about like, like these world-class power lifters, they're lifting like 300 kilo, but the strongest power lifters aren't just dropping the bar. They're just lowering it in complete control and setting it down gently. So I thought that analogy was pretty good.
Yeah, like I said, not everybody can lift 300 kilos, but the ones you can and can put it down, right? They're not like lifting it up and then throwing it out, dropping it on the ground.
Exactly. Like it's one thing to just lift it, but it's another thing to just like with control over your muscles to just set it down.
Yeah, because like putting it down is the hardest part.
Yeah.
Putting it down carefully without dropping it on the floor is the hardest part. Like, I'm not a power lifter, so I'm not going to pretend to know. But like, I've noticed in my life that it's easier for me to pick things up, heavy things, than it is for me to gently place heavy things on the floor.
Yeah.
Because it's heavy. And those muscles don't get used very other. The muscles to low for you that you would use for picking up get used a lot more than the ones that you would use for lowering, right?
I think it's just more tension, but I'm not a biologist or muscle person, but
well, yeah, I'm not sure. It's not like you're using different muscles to lower it, but like the process of contracting versus, I don't know, what's the opposite of contracting? Relaxing? Not relaxing.
Oh.
I don't know. You people will understand what I mean. I'm sure some of you will get it.
Yeah, because after that analogy, he was talking about training Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu as well. And for those wondering where this is going, he's talking about, they train with precision, not power. So when they're training and they're sparring, it's kind of like controlling themselves and not just going all out. And so it kind of speaks to this chapter where it's, he's really trying to drive the point across of like having strength isn't just about power.
Right.
It's about having control over yourself, like self-control even, which is where he goes into some of the other verses, which is a little bit later. But essentially he was also talking about meekness and how the word meekness is often like severely understood, which I thought was accurate. Because I think when a lot of people think of the word meek, they think of like a doormat. Like someone just getting walked all over.
Yeah. Somebody with like, maybe not little presence, but somebody who doesn't like stand out among the rest.
Yeah. But what Mark goes into is like, no, meekness is like when somebody truly has meekness, it's just strength under control. Like they know who they are. They don't have anything to prove. Like they're not out to, I don't know, flaunt or whatever. So I thought he worded it really well.
I did too.
Yeah. Did you have any talking points about the chapter that you wanted to?
Yeah, this time something stood out to me that I wanted to write down. it was a quote from the book, page 41. So often we want God to make us more effective, more capable, more impressive, more powerful. But the Spirit is not primarily interested in performance. He is interested in fruit.
Yep.
That's I read that and I was like, that's one of those subtle things, right? It's very subtle.
But it's so relatable.
It is, like, no, for sure, definitely, especially when it comes to, like, I wouldn't say just men, but for men, it's just like to be. When we pray, we want to be more efficient. We want to be more effective. We want to we want more productivity because we equate productivity with not purpose but value.
Yep.
Right. So, the more I can do, the more valuable I am.
Yeah, well, I don't know about you, but I don't know how many times I've gone into prayer and it's just like, God, make me better.
Yeah.
But in reality, it's like, no, that's not how that works. Instead, he's going to throw challenges at me and like throw me through trials so that I can better myself.
Right. Yeah, I stopped necessarily praying to be better. I just started my prayer has been just like, just help me grow.
Yeah.
Just help me grow, because you know where I need to grow and what that looks like and how that's going to come about. So just help me grow.
Yeah. Yeah, because the note that I had for that section specifically was right after he wrote out the Holy Spirit isn't looking for performance. I kind of like stopped the quote there and then injected my own thoughts. So my own thoughts after that was like the Holy Spirit is interested in glorifying the Father. And when we bear the fruit of the Holy Spirit, then we're glorifying the Father. And then it made me think of John chapter 15, verses 8, which says, this is to my Father's glory, that you bear much fruit, showing yourselves to be my disciples. So that's kind of where my thoughts went with that quote. But like you, that when I read that quote, it really did stand out. Like it was impactful statement I found.
Yeah. I think a lot of people will struggle with that one.
What did you think about the section when, like going back to the meekness, where he was talking about Jesus had all authority in heaven and on earth, yet he knelt to wash feet. He had the power to call down angels, but yet he chose the cross.
That really does, like, Jesus is the ultimate picture of power under control, right? Like, he's the ultimate picture. He's the perfect picture of everything, right? If you want to look for love, like the perfect picture of love, you look to Christ.
Yeah.
If you want to look at the perfect picture of compassion, you look to Christ. Of kindness, of boldness and everything. So yeah, like definitely when he said that, it didn't really mean that much to me, but to think about it, it's definitely shows like how much like we take Christ's humanity for granted, I would think. Right? That maybe it's just me how I look at it, but like we take his humanity for granted, the fact that God became flesh and died for us. And I think to some degree we just kind of look at it like, well, Jesus was just doing what he knew he had to do. But at the same time, Jesus could have been like, well, I don't want to go to the cross anymore. Right? I just don't want to. And he could have called in angels to come and do whatever.
Yeah, or maybe even like we overlook like how Jesus responded in certain scenarios, where it's like we read it 100 times, but then when we come across a similar scenario, we react in a completely different way and we try to justify our actions rather than just being, like taking Jesus as the ultimate example and just being like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't respond out of anger. But I think you're right. I think we do take his example for granted. But sorry, I cut you off. What you were saying before that?
No, just you pretty much summed it up, right? Just that Jesus could have done him being the ultimate power, but kept himself under control and under his Father's will instead of exercising his own will. Because we know that in the Garden of Gethsemane, he didn't want to go to the cross anymore.
Yeah.
Right. It was too much of a burden for him, but he prayed that it would pass him by if the Father would allow it.
Mm.
And so that is the thing, is that he asked his Father, if we could, can it not be me?
Mm.
And he, even though he could have just said no, like, let's find a different way to do this, we can come up with another solution, he willingly chose, he kept his power under control, and willingly.
But it also shows that, like, Jesus was always under the submission of the Father, right? Like, he always respected the Father's wishes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, I mean, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they're all one. They all share the same will. So no, I understand what you mean.
Yeah,
I understand.
Yeah, I think if we get into that could get very confusing very quickly.
What do you mean by? How do you mean confusing? Oh, the Trinity and the one will and everything.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Yes, I understand. But I mean, like, even just if you think about it, the fact that Jesus even asked the Father, like, if this cup can pass, like, if it's according to your will, like, then let this cup pass me by.
Yeah.
The fact that he even, like, suggested that shows that he has his own will.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah, I think it's way past human comprehension how the whole Trinity truly works, personally. Like, I don't think I could claim to truly understand it and be like, yeah, I totally know how it works. It'd be like, I can theorize how I think it works based on what I've read.
Right.
But,
no, like, I'm not saying I'm not trying to get deep into it.
I know.
But just the fact that Jesus was like, if possible,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go through with this, shows that, like, each of the persons of the Godhead still has, like, they all share the same will. They all have the same, let's all say they have the same goal, and their will, like, what they want to do is all aligned all the time.
Mm-hmm.
But they still have their own will. Each one of them has their own will. That's all I was trying to get at by that, was that, like...
Yeah, I think one of the analogies that I heard for the trilogy that kind of just, like, made me laugh and go, yeah, that kind of, was Neapolitan ice cream.
Yeah, I guess.
Like, they're all ice cream, but chocolate's not strawberry and strawberry's not vanilla, and...
That's fair. That's a fair...
That one made me think. I started laughing. I was like, yeah, I could see that.
It's not the example I was expecting, to be honest.
I know.
So out of left field.
I know. I know. It caught me off guard when I heard it too. I was like, "Whoa!"
But that's actually a pretty good analogy.
Yeah,
it's actually pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, but going back to bearing fruit, pretty much right after that section, he was talking about, I don't know if it was like a teacher or something, or he was talking like what happens when you squeeze an orange. It's like, do you expect apple juice? Well, no. So you're going to get orange juice because that's what's inside. And then it was essentially what he was getting at is like the pressure from the trials that, the Lord lets happen. It kind of just reveals what's truly inside.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. That's what he was getting at, right?
Yeah.
When you're under pressure, you reveal what's inside.
Mm-hmm.
That was the point of it, because he was talking. I believe he was talking to, like, one of the spiritual leaders at the church he was at, and then the leader was saying something along the lines of, "What happens if you squeeze an orange and it's like, well, orange juice will come out?"
Yeah.
He's like, right, but wouldn't it be really weird if you squeezed an orange and apple juice came out?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So to show that, like, again, when we're under pressure, when we're squeezed,
Yeah.
we reveal what's inside.
Yeah.
So are we an orange, or to say a Christian?
Mm-hmm.
And then is orange juice going to come out? Is, like, the fruits of the Spirit going to come out when we're under pressure, or is it going to be apple juice instead of orange juice?
Yeah. Yeah, because really it's like how are we going to respond under pressure?
Yeah.
And I think that's why God allows these trials, is for one, so that like we for ourselves can really see where our own heart's at, because I think sometimes we can actually like fool ourselves into thinking like, oh, I'm doing it this way, but then when push comes to shove, we're like, maybe not.
No, I agree that the trials come not just for us to to develop fruit, but to also reveal what else needs, like to reveal things that need to be what is the word?
Nurtured?
No, not nurtured, but what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know, you would have read it when you read John 15, because the father was the gardener, right? The keeper of the vineyard.
Mm.
And what did he do? Prune. That's the word. Prune. So not only does it reveal, not only do trials reveal, like, help to develop our spiritual fruit, but it also, I think, reveals things that need to be nurtured, like you were saying.
Yeah.
But also things that need to be pruned and removed from our lives. Right? Maybe we have bad habits that God wants to prune out.
No, absolutely. Yeah, because that's kind of another thing too, right? Like when we're under stress and when we're under pressures, we kind of like default to maybe some of the bad habits that we've been trying to like get away from. Like maybe like stress is bringing out anger, for example, or maybe stress is bringing out laziness, which for me, that's a big one. Like, when I'm stressed, I get so lazy, it's not even funny. And so when we're kind of like under that pressure, and then when we go to that place of prayer and like we pour our heart out to God, it really reveals to ourselves, like you said, like what needs to, like where do we need work? Because like it's not to reveal to God where we are, because like he knows our hearts way before we do.
Yes.
Yeah, that was most of my thoughts on that one. Did you have anything else on that topic?
No, not on that topic.
No. Did you have another topic?
No, I just that was the only thing that, as I was reading the chapter, stood out to me. Was the one that I brought up before.
Yeah. Yeah, the only thing that I had related to what we were just talking about was like when we're under pressure, Mark writes, it's one of the most accurate tests of spiritual maturity, which I think I would agree with.
I would agree with that too, because when you're stressed out, that's when you're like your real, like your true nature comes out, right? Or maybe not nature, but like that's when, when you're under pressure, right?
You're gonna default to what's comfortable.
Yes, exactly. You're gonna default to your comfortable coping mechanisms. I mean, like when people want to test a motor, they don't just run it on idle. They put the pedal to the floor, right?
Yeah.
They want to test the engine. They want to see if there's something wrong with the engine. Well, they have to put the engine under pressure.
Yeah.
So I think it's fair to assume that it would be very similar to in our lives as well, that when the troubles come, when the pressure comes, that's when it's going to be, that's our endurance test, right?
No, exactly.
What's going to happen? What's going to give?
Yeah. What's your place of comfort? Are you going to prayer for comfort, or are you going to earthly pleasures for comfort? Like,
Yeah.
are you going to sit on your butt and watch TV and try to wind down, or are you going to play video games, ignore the word, or are you going to go to the word and pray?
Exactly. Exactly.
Which I will admit I'm getting better with, but
That's good.
I'm not making as much progress as I'd like to, but like you said, endurance run.
Yeah.
Just looking at my notes to see what else I had, because I wrote down like a few pages worth of notes anyway. Oh, there's a good one. What did you think of the section where he talks about, the world doesn't need more loud, angry, reactive men, but instead it needs men who can walk into a room carrying quiet strength, who know who they are, and they do not need to prove themselves, which we kind of talked about like a little bit earlier on. But what did you think about that section?
Yeah, I think the world is full of enough angry people. Forget about not even necessarily men, but loud, angry people in general.
Yeah.
Like, there's so many of them. It's like you can't go on any social media without seeing somebody like crashing out, right? Somebody's losing their mind about something, and it's usually whatever, just something so ridiculous. But yeah, I don't know. Definitely, I definitely think that we need more people who have quiet confidence and self-respect,
Yeah.
right? Because it's the self-confidence and the self-respect that allows people to not have to be like if being loud is part of your personality, that's one thing.
Yeah.
But if you're being loud because it's because of an insecurity, that's another thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you're just a naturally like outgoing and extroverted person and you tend to get a little loud, like everybody knows, well, that's just Dale. It's just the way he is, right? Or whoever. Not to point out, not to throw out specific names about specific people.
Yeah, but when I read the part where he was talking about, like men who carry a quiet strength, who know who they are, the immediate visual that I get, because I started like visualizing, because I don't know, that's just like I'm very visual lately. But what I could think of and what came to mind was just like the picture of a man carrying authority, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they're not trying to bend to anybody else's authority. Like they're standing strong in their own authority. And so I think when we, being Christian men, stand in the authority of Christ, like we don't have to prove ourselves to anybody. We don't have to be loud.
No.
So I think he captured it well.
Yeah, and knowing your identity, having the self-confidence that comes from that, and the self-respect definitely allow, like, there's no need to prove yourself, like you said. You don't have to be loud because you don't feel insecure.
Yeah. Like, I definitely think there's things that we need to be loud about as Christians.
Yeah, no,
But
for sure. Like there's things that we need to take our stand on. But if it comes to just needing some sort of validation because we have a lack of confidence,
yeah.
then that's different, right?
No, exactly. Oh, is that the end of the section? And then it goes right into this to the notes? Or not the notes, the questions? Really? I always forget how short the chapters are.
So short.
All right, I guess we're into the questions, I guess. I don't know which questions are from which section. It looks like I just kind of wrote them out this time. So I guess we'll take it one by one.
Okay, well, I did number 1 of Coach's Corner because that one actually involved doing some actual deep thought and some. I didn't write down any, and I didn't do the reflection questions or the other ones. I figured I would just answer them on the spot. The reflection questions and the weekly questions were pretty similar, if I remember correctly.
They were, yeah. I only wrote out the unique ones. So the first one was reflect on one area of your life where you often react instead of respond.
Yep. This one got some reaction out of me for sure. My default, I find that my default reaction when I'm in an uncomfortable position is to like run away, distract. Okay. It's just like I don't want to think about this, so I'm just gonna go watch YouTube or something, or whatever, play some games. I'm just gonna. I'm putting this out. I'm putting this away. I'm not dealing with this. So then I found if I had to think of one area in my life where I tend to react instead of respond, it would be the area of personal growth.
Okay.
So when we're talking about like introspection and self-reflection, especially when it comes to like uncomfortable topics, or maybe like especially like I would say like in my Christian walk, it would be not like I know I should be doing this, but I'm not. And so I'm just gonna ignore this, and I'm just gonna distract myself. I'm gonna run away from this uncomfortable thing.
That wouldn't really be reacting, though. That's more of avoidance tendency.
Well, maybe it is an avoidance tendency, but I sure was trying to run away while writing down while writing down my answer. I was just like thinking about it, and the more I thought about it, the more I was like, I don't want to think about this anymore. This is uncomfortable.
So I guess your reaction is avoidance then.
I guess that would be, well, I guess what I said. My reaction was to run away.
Yeah.
So yeah, avoidance.
No, I was just thinking out loud. My mind runs in circles sometimes.
No, yeah, that's my general reaction when I'm in this, when I start thinking about things, or I'm in like when I'm doing like introspection or self-reflection, especially when it comes to like my Christian walk. I know I should be doing this XYZ because that's what Christians do, but I look at my life and I'm like, I'm not doing those things. And so I tend to just like turn my head and be like, nope, I don't want to deal with this right now.
So then you need something to help hold you accountable then, or?
Maybe something like to help me stay accountable, but also just the self-discipline to be like, I know like the self-awareness and the self-discipline to know that I'm trying to avoid this uncomfortable thing, and the self-discipline to be like, we need to face this and deal with it because it won't go away.
Okay.
That's what I think. Just off the top of my head, those are the two things that come to my mind.
Yeah, because for me, like one area of my life where I react instead of respond, it's like at work when I have to re-explain the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, and then people just like don't get it, and then they run a project for like many months, and then I've been calling out the same thing over and over and over again, and then they're like, well, what happened? And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, were you not listening? So I tend to like get angry or like angsty. So it just like irritates me.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty valid reaction, though. I mean,
it gets me in a lot of trouble, but
oh no, I don't. HR likes to get mad at anybody for anything these days.
yeah. But I guess that's one area where I could, I don't know, learn more patience, I guess. But
yeah, I think learning to control your reaction when you're angry.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would. I mean, considering like if I was in your position and they were, people were just like doing whatever they wanted despite being told like you're gonna destroy the project if you keep doing this, you need to change XYZ and then it'll work. And then they just don't, for them to be like, oh, why did it break? I would just be like, I told you, I don't know what you want me to say. This is your mess now, you fix it.
Well, they usually come to the like my team to be like, all right, how do we fix it? It's like, well, this wouldn't have been a problem.
Yeah, if you just listened, I would be annoyed and upset too. Yeah. So like, I can't blame you at all.
Yeah. But there was one it wasn't really a question, but it's basically like commit to speaking one less sentence in disagreements. I actually did that this week.
Oh, so, yeah?
Yeah, I stayed on mute in a lot of meetings. I'm like, I'm going to just bite my tongue on this one. The next question was, where in your life do you tend to equate strength with control or dominance?
Yeah, I thought about this and I was like, I don't know. Like I was thinking like there's not really anywhere in my life where I'm like, or I don't think I ever equated strength with like, well, I mean, like we can think about strength, like dominance in different perspectives, right? Like it's not just physical. Like when we talk about dominance, it's not just physical.
Yeah.
There's emotional and financial and all those other things, right? I don't think I've ever really, like, I've never really thought about it, like, where, like, looked at it and been like, that guy who's in control of everything is strong. I've always looked at people who are, like, physically strong as strong. And I've looked at other people and, like, strength when it comes to character. I've found that strength when it comes to character is the people who are, like, they're like a mountain. Right, that's the only way I could describe it. Like they are as them, like no, like they seem like an immovable object. Not just I don't mean physically. Like You could come at them with logic, like the arguments and all this, and you could throw like spiritual like doctrine and whatever at them, and they are just like immovable. They're just like, no, I have like my own convictions on this. This is where I stand. And you're not going to convince me otherwise. You're not going to change my mind. This is the end of, like, I am not changing. I'm not moving.
Okay.
From where I stand on these things. That's what I've like learned to equate with, like, strength, right? Not just physical strength, but like strength of character.
Okay. So like confidence in their own decisions.
Maybe not necessarily like confidence in your own decisions, but like confidence in where you stand on certain things, right? Like as Christians we have like moral values, right? We have different moral values than the world.
Yep.
So being able to like have like sorry, I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my head. Maybe if we go back to remember when we were reading Disciplines of a Godly Man and we were reading about gossip and stuff, right? What if, so like for an example, if I was in a situation, like just like this is purely hypothetical, if I was in a situation where there was a lot of gossiping going on and I was minding my own business and somebody started, like, what do you think about this? And I just was like, I'm not interested. Like, I don't do gossip. Keep it to yourself. That would be like that. I would look at that and I'd be like, that's strength of character.
Yeah.
Not just like dominant strength or control, but like this is where I stand on this, and I'd have no intention to. Oh my goodness.
Sway their opinion.
No, like I have no intention to like. Sorry, there's a word I'm trying to think of, and I can't remember what it is. They're not willing to sacrifice their integrity. Let's say that.
Okay.
Let's say that's not what I was trying to say, but like this is where I stand, and I'm not willing to back down from this.
I think a lot of people would equate that to stubbornness, but I know what you're saying. It's not stubbornness.
Yeah.
I do know what you're saying, though. I don't know. For me, I don't know, because I don't think I would equate strength to control or dominance either. Like, I don't like when people are super controlling. It just drives me nuts. But then, like, I don't like when people are trying to be overly dominant either through their levels of control, which I guess is kind of the same thing. So I'm not sure on that one. But the question after that was, when was the last time you chose restraint when you could have reacted?
Every day.
Every day. Just one word answer, every day.
I could give you an example of today.
Okay.
So my mother, currently at this time, my mother-in-law is down. She's visiting. So my sister-in-law and my mother-in-law are staying with us. And my mother-in-law today decided she was going to try her hand at making dumplings.
Okay.
Like, so she made some like shrimp dumplings and some beef dumplings and stuff. But what happened was she finished making them and everything, but she left them on the kitchen table and she didn't leave them covered. So I came home.
Kitty cat got them?
Yeah, to find 3 dumplings like half eaten on the floor. And my initial reaction was to like, well, obviously I cleaned it up, right? And like cuss out the stupid cats and But I was gonna take my phone and I was gonna text my sister-in-law and be like, you can't leave food on the table. because the cats will get it, and that's exactly what happened. Is that the cats got those dumplings?
Yeah.
And I was gonna tell her, like, you can't do that.
Mhm.
Why did you leave them on the table? But I didn't. I was like, you know what? No, no, I don't actually know who made them or why they were left on the table.
Mhm.
Let's just clean up the mess, cover the dumplings, and we'll just get on, move on. It's not worth an argument. It's not worth a fight.
Yeah.
And then later found out very shortly later, my mother-in-law comes downstairs and she looks at the dumplings on the table that they covered up with a cloth now, and she's like, what's up? And I was like, you can't leave food uncovered on the table. I was like, the cats got those dumplings. She was like, really? I was like, yeah, they got 3 of them. I said, I found 3 dumplings on the floor, and then like some of them, and like 2 of them have like definitely been like partly eaten. And she was like, oh. I was like, yeah.
It's funny. That's funny.
So that is my very recent example.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I think for me it would be like the most recent example would be like a couple of days ago, I guess, where I guess our security team released like a change, but they implemented it before their change request was like actually approved, and then it caused errors on a project that I was working on without getting too deep into it. So I mean, like, I could have called them out on it, but I chose not to because I didn't feel like arguing.
Yeah. That's the reason why I most of the time just hold my peace at home. It's just like it's
not worth it.
It's not worth the fight.
Yeah.
Why? It's such a small thing. The sad thing is that it shouldn't be something to argue over, but you're just like, it's just not worth it. What happens if it does turn into an argument?
Yeah, I don't know. For stuff like that, I'm the kind of person, like, if you're gonna define a process, follow it. Otherwise, the process that you've defined is useless. But that's just me, I guess. The next question was, what would you change in your relationship? Wait, what? What would change in your relationships if you led with gentleness?
I think is this assuming that we are domineering already?
Don't know, because
yeah, I was
I think for me personally, like, I read that and I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure as far as my relationships go, and I don't count work. That doesn't count. I don't count work as relationships. To me, work people are acquaintances.
Mm-hmm.
There to get a job done, nothing more, nothing less. For relationships, though, as far as my family and my friendships go, I would like to think that I'm fairly gentle. I don't
Yeah, I
know.
mean, I feel like I'm more or less the same.
Mm.
Like, I was thinking about it. I was like, I mean, I'm not a hard ass, so I mean, like, I don't know. Pretty sure I felt like pretty much the same way as you. I was just like, thinking about my relationships that I have with my friends and with my family, and I'm like, I don't treat anybody harshly or anything, like, I mean, putting jokes aside, right? Like, what, banter and everything. But I mean, like, no, I don't, like, I'm not particularly hard on people for no reason.
Yeah.
Right.
But I mean, it could be a question where maybe newer believers would have slightly different answers, because, like, we've been acquainted and close to the Holy Spirit for a while now. So, I mean, I think we just have some of those fruits already.
Maybe.
Because it basically goes into the next question where it's like, which of the fruits of the Spirit do you feel least equipped to live out, and why?
Yeah, I thought about this one a little bit. I actually wrote down the list, like, in Galatians.
Oh, yeah.
I had written that down as a part of what I had written down before, like, the Spirit doesn't want performance, he wants fruits. So then I wrote down Galatians 5:22-23.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I looked at it and I was like, the ones that I don't live out that I don't really live out would be, I suppose it would be joy.
Okay.
That would be the one that I find I don't live out or don't feel equipped. That's what it was, right? Don't feel equipped to live out.
Yeah. So why don't you feel equipped to live out joy?
Well, I just don't feel very joyful in my life.
Mm.
It's not that I don't know if I would say that I don't feel equipped. I just don't feel joyful.
Okay, like on the day to day?
Yeah. Like every day is more or less the same. Wake up, drag your ass out of bed, go to work, come home.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's not that like every day is a bad day, but I mean, I'm not waking up every day and being like, this is the best day it could ever be. Super optimistic, super happy, joyful, whatever you wish to say. I feel to me every day is just another day, and maybe I just spend too much time thinking about problems and things that need to be done. Maybe I'm not spending enough time thinking about God.
Very true. Maybe you're taking things for granted.
Maybe.
Got to slow it down. What's that saying? Like, slow down and smell the roses or whatever?
Yeah. Slow down. Literally, slow down and smell the roses.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, I don't know. I think for me it would be self-control. But specifically to impulse purchases.
Oh, impulse purchases.
Yeah. When I want something, I buy it. It's like...
Yeah, I've gotten kind of bad with that, but at like buying myself treats when I go get gas at the gas station.
Those add up very quickly.
Yeah, they do.
You're like, oh, $2. Oh, no big deal.
Yeah,
it's like you check and you're like, oh, where'd all my money go?
Yeah, I know. I learned that lesson very early on in my working life, in my working career.
So did I.
I was stopping and getting stuff after work from the gas stations and stuff, right? Like, oh, I need to get gas today. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna get a strudel and chocolate milk, and then it's just like that's extra $10 on top of your $30 gas.
Yep.
And it's just like, man, I have no money by the end of the week. It's like, well, yeah, because you spend it and then you stop for Tim's and get coffee, or
all
maybe
the little stuff.
Or maybe you get a lunch, you go out for lunch with your coworkers and whatever, and then it's just like, oh, I have $30 to last me the rest of the week.
Yeah.
I better make sure I don't spend any money in case I need gas.
Yeah, no, for me, it's like stuff for the kids. Or it's like, the kids are like into something or whatever, and they're like, oh, it'd be cool if they had that. And then rather than waiting till Christmas, we're just like, buy. So then Christmas comes around because Christmas is coming up, and we're like, what the heck do we get the kids that they don't already have? It's like they literally, like, they want something or they're interested in something, and we're like, okay, let's just get it for them now so that they can enjoy it while they're interested in it. But so yeah, I think for me it would be self-control, and not really that I'm not equipped to live it out. It's just more that it's just discipline, I guess.
Yeah, just putting it into practice.
Yeah. And that was all of the questions that I wrote out. So I don't know if you had anything else you wanted to cover this week.
No, I think we covered the chapter pretty much.
Sounds good. So we'll end it here then.
Sounds good to me.
You can join us next week. We're going to be covering Chapter 5 of This is the Way by Mark Oxer, and the title is going to be called No Lone Wolves. We'll see you over there.